So, Odie, what did you think of the movie? Why? All right, so the Garfield movie, I liked it. They had the little sneak peek thing there, like a week before the Memorial Day weekend thing there. Nice and packed, and the animation was nice. I think Pratt did a good job of Garfield, though no one's better than Lorenzo Music, even though I thought Bill Murray, etc., and all these other people did good jobs over the years, but Lorenzo is Garfield, always will be. I'm sorry, but Pratt didn't do a bad job. And I thought everyone did pretty well in it. It was a story, you knew what it was by the trailers, but at the same time, I didn't expect it to go in such a direction it went in. Like, I thought it was fascinating with Otto and Ethel, the bull and the cow. So that was an interesting story. Then the bad lady cat and her minions, and I like the minions, the little folded dog and the hee. So that was very interesting, but it was a nice story, and it had the funny stuff, the stuff there to get the kids to go, and the typical stuff, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it did have heart to it, and I liked that it was this focus of Garfield and his dad, done very well by Samuel L. Jackson. He had a good energy and sound to it, and it wasn't just, I'm Sam Jackson with the F's, he sounded more high-pitched and happy and all this, and I really liked that. And I liked where they were going with it. Like, when he was a little kid and he was all cute, and then you see the stuff there, and then you like that bond, and then him not trusting his dad, and then you finding out. Spoilers, not spoilers. He didn't, you can, whatever, but he didn't really abandon him type of stuff there, which was kind of a gimme. Like, I didn't think he was going to be like, that's what was going to happen. He just noticed that he had a good life with John type of thing there. So why? But then you get this nice, throughout the film, they butt heads and they go through this, roadkill and everything. And it was just very sweet. And I liked that part there with the dad. And I liked the stuff with the notches on the tree, them going back to that, them learning things and then bringing stuff back again. Odie, as usual, it's like, Odie, and all the things I have you do for me. And it's like, you got to love that. And then Odie does it, like when they're arguing on the train and then Odie's in the background going back and forth constantly. And he makes a thing for Garfield just to lie on. It's like, damn, Odie, damn. But he's a good, Odie is adorable and he's awesome. And again, I like the animation to see the fur and everything. Food looked good. You gotta love all the lasagna stuff there. They did some good marketing too, where you remember seeing in the stores, like Olive Garden doing stuff, and then the stores, little packages of lasagna for things. Garfield was like, duh. So very, very nice. And basically, just had the switch hands there, if you couldn't tell. Again, I'm Garfield. It's ooh. I really liked it. I liked the little ending song with the villain lady. It was catchy and fun. I liked the little thing to stay at the end, where it was a comic strip of Garfield, and it's like an actual comic strip of Garfield, and he's like, why are you still here? Oh, I know why. The sequel. You're waiting for the sequel. And I'm like, so yeah. It was just very nice. It was touching as well. I really liked those moments. I was tearing up. You got the music playing. You got all the emotional moments with the father and the son. Tearing up. Like, it was really good. Like, that aspect I loved about it. My only negatives were, at least we got to see normal first, second at the end. And even Liz, we got to see a couple times briefly again for the Monday's joke and at the end. And John was barely in it. So that's like my downside. I think John is like one of the best characters in Garfield. I know you want to focus on Garfield and Odie. It's a cartoon one for kids. But John is a huge part of this. And John is one of the best characters I've seen in comics. And when they translate him very well in the cartoon, especially the cartoons in the 80s and 90s. He is just lovably, that awkward kind of guy, but he's just lovable in every way. And you'd love the crazy stuff he goes through and he puts up with Garfield. So I just really wish they did more of John, but I get it. You're trying to tell the story with the dad that many might not know. They've never done anything with the father for him, but they have done with the mother in the 80s, one of the 80s specials. There is stuff where there was an episode of a special where it involved Garfield and his mom. So it's not cool. Now we're going to see a dad, and I think that worked very well, and it was nice, and just a wonderful, nice little cartoon that I think The kids were enjoying it, it seemed like. Adults, I think, were like kind of laughing and getting into it. And there's a lot of ha and a couple of and a couple of he and a couple of ah. It's Garfield. That's how it is. Very well done, I thought, and glad to see it early. So hopefully people will enjoy it. I'm pretty sure it'll do well Memorial Day weekend. It's a good weekend for it. And who doesn't love Garfield? I think everyone did a good job. Interesting story, interesting characters that they added in. Just wish there was more John. And I was just really liking it more than the laughs. I was liking it more for that heartfelt moments. Plus, my last thing, that on the dumpster, when you're seeing the little stories of him, especially when the dad, Vic, was trying to tell him what happened, you can see on the dumpster, it had the most important date in like our history. It said 6/1978. June 19th, and that's Garfield's birthday. That's when Garfield was created. So that's the Garfield Celebration Day. So it was a nice little nod there when you see that written on the dumpster. I was like, there we go. Yeah, I keep forgetting, like, that's coming up soon. Garfield's big day. So hopefully it does well. But I really enjoyed it. I give it 2 lasagnas up. It was really enjoyable.
So I thought it was a wonderful film. A good thing you could take your whole family to. Good heart. A nice, sweet film. Good animation. I thought they did not bad. I thought they did a pretty good job translating into CGI. I thought they did a good job with the story and how they, took a new direction to take with it instead of something predictable. And I thought the whole flow of the film was really nice, and that I like that it had a lot of heart in it. A good thing to take your family to, and a good feel film, but yet still, has the humor, and it's appropriate for all ages, to be honest with you. I agree that the parts that John is a good part of the comics, and so hopefully, if they do make a sequel, that they'll have more in there, because I've always liked John, and I've actually watched clips on YouTube where people just mash up just John clips, and
those out of context ones are hilarious.
They are. You should definitely check those out.
And then again, like more like then hopefully we can get Normal in there. Maybe we can get someone for Garfield with his gal. Just maybe, I know you don't want it to be like the comics and the cartoons with more antics, so it was nice that they did this, but hopefully Garfield's little comic strip at the end is hinting at more.
Yeah, it would definitely nice to
more
see
cheese.
I definitely like to see more of this.
And more Pookie.
I hope it does very well in the theaters. As I said, it's something good you could take to your kids too. They did pick a good weekend to put it out. I know we got to see it early, but Memorial Weekend's a good weekend to have it.
And they got all these neat things at all these other theaters. Like there's plushes and the tubs. I want the tub. I know everyone was going crazy for the Slimer with his mouth and the popcorn bucket, but I want the Garfield one with Garfield's mouth, because Garfield. And cute things like that. There's a lot of neat, cute things you can get from it. So just shame that, our theaters mostly, we have to go to other ones to get them. But, this is the one that had the screen and that where they don't have anything. And me, Garfield being like my favorite comic strip besides Peanuts, I was very pleased with the movie.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job.
A good job for what you expect for nowadays.
Agreed. I do feel like there's a slight missed opportunity. I know that the farm was like an evil place, quotation marks, but
that would have been funny.
It would have been nice to see, Garfield's friends, from Garfield and Friends.
That would have been nice. I don't know if it was maybe like an Easter egg somewhere in there, maybe in the background, or characters or something. I don't know. That might have been neat to see some of the U.S. Acre guys in there.
So I feel like that was a missed opportunity, but that
I wonder.
Couldn't do it later.
But it makes me want to go, like, I don't know. I have to see it again. Pay attention to the farm, I guess.
Well,
I don't
who
know.
knows? I mean, technically, John's family lives on a farm, so maybe they can throw him in a future movie or something.
Right, that'd be cool.
But it would have been nice to see them. But I did like the new characters they threw in there. They were enjoyable.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'll introduce them. I mean, I'm glad that they got to join the Garfield family.
Yeah, it was good.
Or universe.
Everything worked. Pretty much.
So what I also liked about this compared to, like typical like Pixar movies, I know it's not Pixar, it's Sony, but it wasn't like a journey film, like you had to get from point A to point B. I thought the formula they used in this film was very nice. And so it wasn't just like silly antics throughout the whole film. Well, silly antics as filler for the film. I thought they had a nice pacing and spreading out of action and stuff like that. still was able to draw kids' attention, and still had the heart that was very important in these kind of films. I think you should definitely check it out if you can. And hopefully your theater will have some Garfield stuff that we obviously were unable to get. But
Mondays.
So thanks for checking out our video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and
there I am. Wait.
2 thumbs up from us.
See you next time.
Stay gnarly.